beautiful souls, welcome. It is an honor to be here with you again today. I'm just getting our live set up and prepared for us. Let me just prepare our live for us. All righty, here we are. All right, beloved souls, it's so great to see you. Welcome to Self-Love Sundays. As usual, we deep dive into the subconscious, and we are going to work with a couple strong elements today that are really important for this coming time. We had a really beautiful class yesterday where we discussed really looking at the under layers of programming and how to activate the spinning of your toroidal field. And so that's something that is a very powerful practice that is requiring the cultivation of the integration of the higher self in the physical, and also learning how to clear debris from the multidimensional body. And so that is something that we're going to be working incrementally in the next couple months with all these classes. And yeah, it's so great to see you guys. Margot, Shelley, welcome. Yes, we have sound. And if you guys have any questions, please put it in capital letters in the chat. I'll be super happy to answer your questions and really happy to connect with you there. Let me go ahead and share the live. Hello, Vanessa. Great to see you. Just to let people know that we are on here. Nori, great to see you. Kira, wonderful to see you. All right. Okay. So, I was speaking yesterday, for those of you that were not able to attend yesterday's class, talking about how in the next couple months, we want to work on the clearing of really deep ancestral programming. And the invitation is that at the other side of this, coming into the new year, is starting new, starting fresh, starting in a new octave. We are beginning to integrate a higher octave from now until 2027. And so the implications of that require clearing of the subconscious programs that are continuing to create limitations in your ability to create, to heal, to manifest, to love. And so what I want to look at today is programming around love and what does it mean to embody love in the unification of the alchemical marriage. What is the alchemical marriage? The alchemical marriage is really the unification of the consciousness and matter. It is the higher self into the physical. It's the non-physical realm with the physical. It's not just pertaining to a union between two, man and women. Some people think it's alchemical marriage is a spiritual marriage of some kind. And it is, but it's an internal marriage. It is the internal marriage of our divine feminine and divine masculine. And so this is actually really the key to moving your energetic field. And we talked about that a little bit yesterday, how the unification of that and the layers of that and how we can access that information. And so the unification of the feminine and masculine is really the balancing of all our skewed perceptions in the feminine, skewed perceptions in the masculine that are taking us away from that divine order, from that integrated self, from that connection. And so my invitation today, we're going to be working on this and this week, is that you observe what are some of your core belief systems that impede you from having this balanced feminine, balanced masculine aspect. And most likely, these are things that are coming down generations for many, many generations that you continue to repeat over and over again that are really difficult to break. These are, and it's not just within your ancestral lineage, it's an entire construct that we are deconstructing right now. The deconstruction of the systems in the coming of the new era, coming of a new earth, a new world, per se, is emerging through us. Okay, so this new civilization of consciousness, this new state of being that is in harmonic order, that is working in communion with nature in order to create cities and societies that are conducive of love, support, true community, and healing, this is something that we're cultivating from the internal self. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, where you live, what you're doing. We are building that from the inside out, and everything that is happening external to us, whether it's global wars or problems in the political problems, social problems in the world, are a reflection of our deep subconscious wounding that we have yet to heal. And so at this time, we want to kind of dig deep into what are those things that we continue to play out? What are those little programs that we continue to play out in our intimate relationships, in our family relationships, in our society? And what role do we play in strengthening the matrix? Okay, it's one of the most amazing realizations that I had early in my work is that I was participating in the creation of a lot of these matrix constructs with my own fears, with my beliefs, with my doubts. And, it's very interesting because everything from the way that you speak, the way that you engage energetically in things is a manifestation of that. It creates blockages in your expansion, your expression, energetic expansion and expression. And as we talked yesterday, to expand your field, to be able to move your toroidal field fluidly and to expand your field in a way that is healing for you. This is something that we're working on daily, clearing out those blockages. And just as a quick reminder for anyone that's new, let's put a visual to that in terms of what we're talking about in the energetic body. And essentially, we're going to talk about the alchemical marriage as it is in the body. What does that look like biologically? Okay, because the integration of the feminine and masculine would be healing these wounded perceptions, and that's equating to harmonic order, mind, body, and soul. Give me just 1 second to pull up my slides here. Here it is. All right, so here we are. Okay, so let's start by looking at this because this is the part that we get very confused. And there's going to be so much that is being rewritten and changed in our societies moving forward that 10 years from now, things are going to seem very, very different to what we've been used to. Our whole concept of the role of the feminine, the masculine in our world needs to change because it has been inverted. It has been inverted, and we have been disconnected from the true essence of the feminine and masculine. And that's why we have a confusion in this society, the entire construct of even unions and marriage and the ideas of the roles that we play in our families, relationships, partnerships, friendships even have become kind of skewed. And when that happens in societies, and this has happened in many ancient civilizations, until they learn what is truly this alchemical marriage, what is truly the embodiment of the divine feminine and masculine in harmonic order, we're going to see all of these imbalances manifesting in the physical world. And so we can begin to kind of move through these blocked aspects within ourselves and identify where are we holding some of these imbalanced perceptions. And this is very important because the entire structure of this current system is built on, right now, an imbalanced feminine masculine. It's built on the suppression of the feminine, which is the suppression of the intuition, which is the suppression of the divine. When a civilization suppresses the intuition and the divine, we focus towards the material. Okay, which is why we have an entire system, an economic system, political systems that are all focused on the sustaining of major corporations that direct all areas of our lives around the world, globally, the future and the way that nature is evolving, the fate of nature at this point, because so much destruction has been done on the planet Earth. The destruction towards nature is also the inversion of the feminine order. And so I want you to take a look at your world, what you see in your world around you, and where we begin to observe these inversions of feminine order. And how are we participating to that? It can be in our disassociation to connection to nature. It could be in our disconnect from our intuition. It could be in our disconnect. Also, we're healing the masculine in that the masculine is learning how to exert its energy and apply its energy towards divine movement, towards intuitive movement. And that's something that, again, when I talk about these are not separate energies. We all have masculine and feminine, and it's our job to balance both of them within us. The fact that we only think we have to enhance one or the other is precisely the imbalance that we're talking about here, because both feminine and masculine energies within us is an entire universe of handling energy that we're missing out. So if you're too much in your masculine, feminine aspects are weakened in you, and we cannot function fully. To be whole, to be a whole soul, to be the integration of the soul and matter is really the integration of the balance of the feminine and masculine. And so these are things that we learn eventually subconsciously as we begin to refine our focus and our attention on the parts of us that are weakened, our powers, our gifts, our self-worth, our understanding of what we're here to do, our purpose, feeling lost, feeling disconnected. All of these things are connected to the roots of those imbalances. And so we really want to understand, where we're holding that, because at the center core of the integration of these two energies is the true creative potential that emerges, right? So the alchemical marriage is the marriage of the feminine and masculine, from which the third emerges. And the third is not just a child. It's not the product of some external object, matter, or being. It is you. It is you that is being born. You are birthing yourself. You are birthing yourself. You are manifesting yourself as a whole being. The whole being, which is the integration of the higher self and the physical, which is the integration of your intuition and your action in harmony. Okay, so these are things these are absolute foundational truths that we need to understand in order to create this new societies that we are now being asked to create. Okay. When I say being asked, it sounds so strange, right? So as we move through these ascension cycles, we are, all of us, all beings in this entire universe are ascending. Okay, so whether you're ready or not, you're either in harmony with this ascension process, or you're going to feel the repercussions of being out of alignment with that. Okay, so remember that this universe is moving in this spiral motion every single year, every month, every minute of the day, which we call time in order to measure this ascension, which is an illusion, right? Because everything is happening simultaneously. But as we are ascending and moving through the universe, spiraling around the sun, moving through this trajectory, every single time that we are moving through this energy system, we are moving into a higher octave. Okay, moving into higher octaves than before, higher vibrational frequencies. And the same is for your physical body. So your DNA is responding to that ascension because layers of holographic DNA are becoming activated every time that you alchemize your thought, alchemize beliefs. You enter and you allow and you open a new range of frequency within the body. You unlock a new range of frequency in the body. And this is the activation of DNA, which moves blocked energy in the body, which allows you to move energy systems through your chakra bodies, which allows the toroidal energy system to move, which then aligns with the frequency of the planet Earth and the sun, the solar system, and the universe. And those are not just random fantasies. This is the physics. It's the spiritual physics of your body, that your biology catches up to that. And so anytime that we begin to have blocked thought forms within the field, this is where we really we block our ability to expand our perception. All of this is the anatomy of expansion of perception. And the expansion of perception is you operating at wider bands of frequency, shorter, faster bands of frequency, higher frequencies, which allow you to attune to higher bands of information. Okay, so again, we're moving from the most primitive form of survival beliefs, which keep us trapped in, very dualistic, very limited states of consciousness, into higher states of consciousness. So this is available to us as we're moving through this ascension. And this is essentially when you begin to access into this unity. When we talk about unity, we are talking about the alchemical marriage. Okay. So we come from total separation, which is this idea of individuation, this idea of being separate, of only being one of the two energies. So either you're fully you're believing that you're embodying this masculine aspect or this feminine aspect, and you are not complete with your feminine, divine feminine, or your divine masculine. So you will always be in separation. Okay, and people that are in separation or trying to imbalance one of these imbalanced aspects always feel alone, always feel disconnected, always feel unguided, always feel unprotected, always feel disconnected, lost, confused. So to alchemize that, and we have a lot of those feelings of helplessness right now, because those imbalanced aspects are being polarized by a lot of social engineering that promote your external attachment and the idea that your safety is found in the material or in another human or in another identity of some kind. So this is an illusion, because you, as this powerful being of consciousness, infinite potential, your understanding of embodiment of wholeness, of becoming whole, is essentially the integration of those two parts, where you then begin to reconnect the internal separation that you have within you, and everything around you becomes an extension of yourself. Everything around you is communicating with you, communing with you, creating with you. This is not a fantasy. This is something that I have experienced personally, that once you start to cultivate a certain stillness, you begin to see that stillness draws the entire world for you. It's completely available to you to connect. And the more you become still, the more you become observant, your field expands, as we talked about in yesterday's class. Your field, your toroidal field, begins to merge in with higher bands of frequency, which means you become the all eventually. And so it's through this integration of the alchemical marriage that we come into higher states of consciousness, such as awareness, such as creation, such as pure knowing. And what this looks like in our everyday lives is a human that is sovereign in themselves, not independent and separate from things, interdependent in a state of harmony and truth. Peace, harmony, truth. These qualities are very different from the one that is independent and disconnected, isolated. It's not an isolation. It's really a reunification with all. And so a lot of people are fearful of that, because when you elevate your higher consciousness, your awareness, when you expand your awareness into that stillness, you're going to look like the weird person in the room that perhaps is not as engaging and responsive to, right, these patterns of behavior that are actually really truly rooted in fear, survival. Okay? So the new human that we're creating is a human that doesn't operate from fear and doesn't operate from survival, doesn't operate from the feeling of disconnect or isolation. And that it looks like something completely different that is new for society, because society is very used to playing on the emotions, the manipulations of our emotions. And so if you become the master of these emotional imbalances, emotional fears, emotional states, that is where you begin to come into your cultivation of power. And so what does that look like energetically? Once again, as I mentioned before, you become centripetal. Okay, and so the energy that was once depleted from your life force is now fully engaged in your energy system. And you create what we call the Merkaba, right? This Merkaba energy system where your energy is redirected from the material, because your body self-organizes frequency from lowest to highest. So the lowest frequency is the most dense, it's the most matter, it's what causes most resistance when you touch, right? So when we touch, we're not really touching. It's the repelling of energies that we feel. Okay, through the senses, right? And so in reality, nothing is actual, absolute, solid matter. And so we redirect our energies from those lower frequencies into the heart, which is love. Love being the alchemical center of unification of life force. Love being the creative life force from which everything is emerging. And so we don't love any one thing anymore. It's not about loving one thing or becoming enamored with one person or one idea or one concept. Your ability to love expands. Okay, because right now we have been brainwashed that really the highest form of love is that with your partner or a union, or perhaps the child that you create, which is divine. But there is a love that we cultivate, which becomes unconditional. And that love it's not going to feel like the attachment love of any one thing. And the emergence of that love is coming from the integration of internal self-love. Okay, so how do you love yourself is the rebalancing of these feminine, masculine aspects that have become out of balance. So when we're working with these imbalanced subconscious programs, we want to identify how are we playing out some of these unhealthy traits. Okay, and what those unhealthy traits look like is it's a lot of survival. Okay. So these are some examples here. Low value of our own life. We don't really value our own life. We don't value ourselves. We don't value our worth. We feel unworthy. We feel not valuable. We feel others' lives are not valuable. I'm seeing a lot of incredibly polarizing and incompassionate, very public responses to all kinds of things in the world today, all kinds of injustices and issues in the world. We respond with absolute disregard of life. We've become desensitized from suffering. We've become incompassionate of humanity and blinded by our own ideals. That's only going to lead humanity into destruction. And so anytime that we come into these unhealthy states of an imbalanced state of anger, fear, intimidation, we're talking about power, we're talking about control. We're already there, guys. We are already existing in that kind of construct. And so what does it look like to come into a divine element of those things, an alchemization of those things, where you then become your own source and meet the needs that you have? So on the feminine, we become selfish, manipulative, withholding, we're indifferent, we're isolated, impatient, we blame, we become victimized by the world around us. Okay, so these are just some general examples of how we might be holding some of these imbalances within us, but they are quite common and they are very much there at the center of our behavior. And in a lot of my sessions, especially this week, it's been coming up a lot, the theme of injustices that feel so overwhelming. And when we begin to dig deep into those, we find that we have been our most powerful abuser towards ourselves, actually. We have been the ones that have abused ourselves. We have neglected, we have abandoned ourselves in such ways that we put ourselves in terribly abusive behaviors, relationships, scenarios, because we've desensitized ourselves from recognizing this imbalance. And when we don't find that imbalance in ourselves, it's going to show up in the life, because the life needs to show us that. Because these energies, these imbalances, it's not just a psychological aspect. It's the entire universe learning to come back into harmonic order and balance through you. The entire universe is coming back into harmonic order through your awareness. The entire planet Earth is learning to come back into this harmonic order through every single human that exists on this planet. And so in that way, you heal the earth heals you. We are co-creating, once again, this human experience. And it transcends far beyond this plane, this dimension. All of your actions that you're doing are actually, they are affecting many dimensional levels of yourself, many fractals of yourself, that you have lived many lives repeating a lot of these programs in many dimensions. And that's your energy. That's your signature. You can change that. You can change those limiting beliefs and move through those blocked aspects in order to embody this alchemical marriage. And the invitation is to observe, for those of you that are beginning to recover memories of your past life, of your childhood, how have we not come into this integration for many lifetimes? How many lifetimes have we failed at integration? truly, most ascended masters, if you are able to come into that integration, you live in absolute peace and harmony, and you're not a victim of anything anymore. You are in your full power of this life experience. And so, we have been shown nothing but a lot of struggle and suffering in this life. And we forget the immense amount of beauty, the immense amount of, um, divinity that exists all around us. And so as we move into this 2026, 2027 years, we want to return back to that divine connection, to the divinity, to living in that divinity, which is coming back to that childlike state of innocence. We are all innocent. Every single one of us are innocent beings of experience. And we're experiencing all kinds of life experiences. There is no good or bad life experience. All experiences are extremely valuable. They are valuable because we have ancestors and many, many souls that are moving through our actions, through our awareness, through our limitations of the limitations that we move through. As we, again, recover the memory that we are one, that we are a whole soul. So we want to come back into this kind of self-initiation process of the alchemical marriage, where we refine these imbalances within us. And as we come into the alchemical marriage of our feminine and masculine, we return back into that whole state. And really, our ideas of, loneliness and separation and isolation would be eliminated, because it is the greatest illusion that exists in this world. So my invitation is that as we move into this new era of coming in to a higher octave of alchemy, that we begin to really work with our life force in a way that is truly conscious. As we come in from this depleting states of being, where all our life force is depleted from the body, into a complete reunification of our energies, a gathering of our energies. Gather your energy. Stop depleting your energy. Be conscious every time that you start falling back asleep and becoming unconscious of what you're doing, your intention behind what you're doing, whether you're on social media or you're just distracted by some external thing. Bring your energy back. Love yourself. This is the embodiment of self-love, where you gather your energy. And pay attention to where your energy is dispersed. Every single thought that you have is a runway of energy from your body externally. So there is no thought that is just useless or random or meaningless, okay? Because it's energy. And so when you understand that, you become the master of your life force, gathering your energy back and interrupting those thoughts that might want to deplete your thought forms and energy out. Okay, because it's very easy to get distracted and disconnected from the self and deplete that life force. And what we're coming into here is that if we don't understand the mastery of energy, we will become even more depleted, because cosmic movements will have more effect on the physical moving into these next couple years. The more disconnected you are from yourself, the more disconnected you are, especially of your emotions, the more you will be easily moved in ways that you don't want to be moved by these, because the earth is cleaning itself through you. And in order for the earth to heal, we have to all learn how to manage our emotional system, basically. Okay, the invitation is, right? That's the greatest next level civilization is the human race that has mastered imbalanced emotions and that fear aspect of powerlessness. From there emerges the cultivation of our higher faculties, our intuition, our telepathic abilities, remote viewing abilities. Those are all part of what we are capable of. And those gifts emerge from that integration. So let's get into the meditation and put this concept into practice as we embody that. Let's begin. I want you to allow yourself to get really nice and comfortable. Go ahead and return all your energy back into your body. Breathing deeply. And with every breath you take, as you allow yourself to connect to the center of the earth, allowing yourself to come into a state of deep relaxation and calm. You're going to visualize the center of the earth. You're going to visualize a cord connecting all the way down to the center core of the planet. Go ahead and visualize that cord nice and thick. Allow your spine to be nice and straight. And you're going to visualize from the center of the earth, a powerful wave of green earth energy comes rushing up your legs as if you're absorbing through straws up into your solar plexus, creating a vortex of energy at your center core. Go ahead and visualize and feel the rotation of that energy all around your center core. From source, go ahead and pull down a powerful wave of gold cosmic energy that comes down to the crown of your head, down your spine, combining with the green earth energy. Visualize this green and gold energy rotating around your center core. Inhaling into the base of the spine. Go ahead and shrink the root chakra at the base of the spine down to the size of a dime. Go up into the sacral chakra, shrinking the sacral chakra down to the size of a dime. Go into the solar plexus, shrinking the solar plexus down to the size of a dime. Go ahead and expand your heart chakra front and back. Up into your throat, expanding the throat front and back. I'm going to go up into your third eye, expanding your third eye front and back. Okay, I want you to scan your bubble around you, your sphere around your body, which is your toroidal field. And you're going to repair any holes, any tears, any opening in your field that you might find or sense. Visualize as you look through your field and you clear up all of those blocks, energies, and holes and tears out. You're going to notice if the right or left side of your body is more open. If it's the right side of the body, it's your masculine that requires balancing. If it's your left side that it's open, it's your feminine that requires balancing. This is a really quick and easy way for you to understand how you are holding your feminine masculine energy in an imbalanced state. It's the same with the front and the back of the body. The front of the body represents the masculine, and the back of the body represents the feminine. Once again, you begin to understand how you are holding your feminine and masculine energy. As you allow yourself to repair those openings in your field, You're going to be completely enclosed inside your toroidal field. Go ahead and go back to your solar plexus. Take 10% of that green and gold energy that you've gathered back down to the center of the earth, creating a channel of elimination. Allowing yourself to clear all 13 layers of your toroidal field. Visualize that you're clearing energetic hygiene of your bubble, clearing the bubble till it's completely clear, front to back, side to side. You can imagine vacuuming it down to the center of the earth, or just however it is easiest for you to visualize. I want you to tune into your intuition. You are using your imagination as intuition. You're not making this up, and it's also important not to doubt what you sense, feel, and know in your space. Any area of your field that feels darker, difficult to imagine, that's a clear indication of an area that is unconscious, that is disconnected, and also blocked. So those are the areas that you want to focus on, clearing your energy. You will very clearly, as you visualize clearing those areas, the energy will feel more accessible. It'll feel easier to imagine, easier to connect to, visualize, easier to move energy in that space, because you've become conscious of that part of your body. Your entire body is a reflection. It's a holographic expression of your subconscious. So right now, even though you're using your imagination to move energy, you're actually working in your subconscious mind. As you move these blocks of energy in your body, you're also going to feel emotionally alleviated, more calm, more centered, more focused, more expansive. Because this energy that you're moving is connected to emotions, it's connected to body parts, to your organs, your endocrine system, your chakras. You are all an interconnected system. You're going to take 80% of that cosmic and earth energy at the center core of your body, and you're going to bring it up your spine and from the crown of your head, coating the outside of your bubble now, outside of your toroidal field. It's moving out through the flow of energy through the toroidal crown. And you're going to gently heal your relationship to the matrix, to the physical, to the external, to the illusion. So you're going to notice that as you move this energy around the outside of your bubble, you're noticing blocks in the outside of your bubble. These can look like cords, it can look like dark spots, depletion of energy, stagnation, blockages. Go ahead and move the energy. You should be basically a toroidal field spinning where all the energy is moving on the outside of that toroidal field fluidly, top and bottom, and through the body. And as you disconnect from people, places, and things, you're just going to call back your energy back into your body. Gathering your life force at your center. Go ahead and cut cords with people, places, and things you've interacted with this week, calling back your energy into your body. You're going to take the final 10% at your center core, up your spine, and from the crown of your head. I want you to absorb this cosmic and earth energy inside your body. Go ahead and absorb it into the pores, the flesh, the muscles, the bones, into the cells of your body. Direct this cosmic and earth energy to any part of your body that requires more support, more love, more healing, more attention, more awareness. You run this energy through your body, you're going to feel lighter and lighter, releasing all the heaviness of the week. We're going to begin to work at the higher level now. I want you to visualize a house that represents your soul. The first room is going to be all of your karmic contracts. These are all the agreements that you've made in order to learn lessons in this life, these experiential lessons. We're going to dissolve those contracts and we're going to replace it by learning it through love and compassion from the higher self in a state of conscious awareness and presence. So go ahead and shine your crown chakra as you illuminate it with your higher self color. And as you shine this crown light on top of those contracts, to eliminate them. Until that room is completely empty. You fill that room with your creative color now. As you set the intention that you are going to learn everything that you need to learn in order to grow and expand from a place of conscious awareness from your higher self, rather than unconscious repeated suffering. Let's go ahead and go into the other room. In the next room, next door, you're going to see all of the people that don't have our best interests. You're just going to see them like little shadows. These can be entities, attachments, people that don't have our best interest. Visualize shining your crown light and eliminating those little shadows out of that room completely. Once that room is empty, you're going to see a pile of sticks that represent the cords connecting you to these agreements and dissolve them completely. Very good. We're going to go deeper. I want you to begin to see yourself as if you're watching a movie of yourself over the past 24 hours. And I want you to take a look at the strongest emotion that you felt in the past 24 hours, the strongest trigger in the past 24 hours. Go ahead and take a look at that. I want you to be absolutely present with that emotion that comes up and that you've identified. Don't get lost in the story of what happened. Just focus on the emotion in your body. And as you observe this emotion in your body, go ahead and name out the emotions that come up. Go ahead and identify the strongest of this list of emotions. And once you identify the strongest, I want you to be absolutely present with that emotion in your body. Notice the part of the body that is triggered by that emotion. It tenses up the most when you connect with it. Go ahead and name out the emotions that are in that part of the body. Everything that you're storing there emotionally, allow yourself to name it out. Go ahead and notice the strongest of this list now. Be absolutely present with that emotion in your body. And I want you to notice, how familiar are you with this emotion? Go ahead and take yourself back to the very first time that you felt and experienced this emotion in your life. You can go as far back as the womb. Take yourself there. And as you identify this memory, begin to observe yourself. Focus on yourself. Notice the emotions that you're feeling in that moment, in this experience, and name them out. And as you observe your emotions, begin to identify what is the program and belief system that was created as a result of these emotions. Begin to observe, what is it that you need in order to no longer feel this way, to believe this? You can observe, what do you need from others? And as you observe that, notice if they are capable or if they have the tools to provide you with what you need in that moment. Just observe what you need from yourself in that moment. And as you identify what you need from yourself, feel it in your body, this new emotion. It will begin to heal parts of your body that have been wounded by this experience. As you provide yourself exactly what you need in this moment. As you begin to observe all the fractals of your life that have repeated this behavior over and over again, I want you to identify the emotion that is needed to alchemize this belief system. You're going to fill yourself up with exactly what you need in that moment. And if this state of being were a color, what color would it be? As you allow yourself to integrate that into your body, as you alchemize your belief, go ahead and do the same to all your fractals. You're going to see all your fractals in front of you, merging into one self. As you begin to explore the response of others when you embody this new state of understanding, go ahead and integrate all those fractals back into your body. And as you allow yourself to integrate fully into your body, we're going to begin to clear all these thoughts, emotions from the body. Begin to open the root chakra back into a balanced state. The sacral, the solar. You're going to close the heart just a little bit. Closing the heart back into a balanced state. The throat into a balanced state. The third eye into a balanced state. So your chakras went from looking like a martini glass to kind of like a straighter line with slightly more open at the top, including your crown and your third eye. I want you to see a pile of contracts in front of you that represent this belief system. You're going to just dissolve that gently with your crown, calling back your life force into your body and releasing what does not belong to you. Go ahead and continue to see your bubble around your body. You're going to go up into the 8th chakra, illuminating the 8th with your crown color. The 9th, the 10th, 11th, 12th, all the way up to the 24th. And above you is a powerful white light, a source. Go ahead and bring that source, cord of source down through the crown of your head, down to your heart, down to the perineum, down to the center of the earth, as you see a pillar of white light through the center core of your body. Let your body adjust as it comes back into harmonic order. You're going to anchor that down into the center of the earth. As you begin to open the chakra underneath your feet, 3, 2, and 1, 3 chakras underneath your feet. I want you to see a pillar of white light through the center core of your belly, going out through your back, around the perimeter of the earth. Very good. And as you allow yourself to open your eyes and come back into the room, I want you to continue to see your sphere around your body, your grounding cord, your connection to source. Amazing. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was an honor to share with you, and I hope that you were able to identify some of the imbalances. The memories that came up for you were a clear indication of how you hold your power in these imbalanced states. So wherever part of your body you saw that was more affected or weak or contracted, or perhaps had more holes or tears, that's where our energy is being depleted and what's imbalanced psychologically in our feminine, masculine energies. Okay, so whatever emotion you identify today, wherever it took you, it's also showing you the deeper subconscious belief systems from where these imbalances originated. Okay, and the beauty of that is that you can work and integrate that and really identify what's the belief that I've been running there. And so what happens when you repair that belief, your energy system balances, psychologically you heal, even parts of your body that you might have seen were affected by that emotion begin to heal. It's amazing. Literally, it just feels like it's coming back into proper function. Okay, so this is the beauty of this deep internal work, which of course is deeply interconnected with your body, your cells, your energy, your life force. And yeah, so I wanna thank you again, and I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful week. If you guys have any questions, let me see if anybody had any questions. Kitty says, thank you, powerful. Yay, Margot. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. I will repeat the class often. This is the deepest understanding I've had. Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, so the great thing about these meditations is that you can do them again, anytime. They're on the channel. Thomas, so great to see you. Hello. Gynastara says, question. It's not easy to navigate relationships and life when I see people's shadows, but they themselves run away from them. Can you please, Geraldine, suggest how to best navigate that? Yeah, so the thing is this, of course, in relationships, we cannot change other people. And also, it's even though we see the shadows of other people, what's really being shown to us is a reflection of our own shadow. And I know when you hear that, it's like, I don't want to hear that, but it's really important to understand that. And it's a very humbling lesson that we learn in this healing journey. Whatever we judge is something that is wounded or triggered or incomplete understanding within ourselves. And so think of this world as a mirror to all the things that we have yet to resolve. Okay, so if you find a shadow in a person, focus on what that's making you feel. Okay, so don't focus on the shadow, don't focus on the story of what happened. Immediately focus on your emotional trigger. So as soon as you see the shadow, makes you feel unworthy, or makes you feel unsafe, or it makes you feel angry, whatever's coming up, focus on that emotion, and you're going to sit and take a look at the layers, and it's going to take you back to a moment in your life where you have lived that experience. It might have been that a parent was mirroring that same experience, and then we took it on ourselves, and then we embodied that, and we continue to repeat that to the point where we become a resonance to a partner that triggers that emotion. This is what relationships are for. And when I talk about the alchemical marriage, ideally, we want to come into relationships when we are whole, rather than to find completeness in those, because that's what's going to happen. If you want to be completed by someone else, you will be, because you're going to be shown what needs to be completed in you. Okay, so that's the invitation. So I strongly suggest to take a look at those triggers, and the alchemization of that trigger will heal you. And you don't worry about the other person, because the other person has to choose to become aware of that aspect of themselves. If they don't choose that, it's their free will. We have to, and again, that identifies whether our attachment to the individual is, codependent or imbalanced in some way. But the healing of that wound, of that trigger, will define how you're going to walk side to side with this individual. And if they are conscious and awake, they will work through their healing, and the relationship becomes a process of healing, mutual healing, rather than mutual self-destruction. Okay. And so in that way, your focus is to become whole, period. That's it. That is your focus, to become whole. And if, as long as you focus on that, you gently see, and have the strength to either move on from that relationship if it's really not moving in the direction that is in harmonic order, or you can both continue to move on. So, yeah, Wind Whisper, thank you so much. Pono, great to see you. Nick, great to see you. Mr. Agramore, great to see you. Wonderful. Kira, love you. Thank you. Kara, thank you so much. Logan says, not a question. I just want to caps lock shout that you are a delight to view and very easy on the eyes. Thank you so much, Logan. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Mirror effect. Jason, thank you for caring. Well, thank you so much, Jason. Vision says, if we have to walk with this person, sometimes it's better to part ways, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's totally fine. I mean, that's something that, I think our society, unfortunately, has created this false concept of the role of the feminine and masculine, of these dependent survival constructs of relationships, which we need to repair now. Okay. And so whenever we think that we need to depend on another to survive in any way, emotionally, psychologically, physically, mentally, in any way, this is an inversion of truth. Every single human, regardless of your sex, is a whole universe to themselves. And when we heal that, we actually become co-creators, co-partners of ascension. And that's really what it's meant to be. And it doesn't matter how long we spend time with the person. If we are growing and if we are existing in harmony, that is the right partnership at the right time. And if it goes into self-destruction for either person, someone has to be awake to say, okay, it's time to choose something healthier, And so that's a really difficult thing in our society, because we're deeply ingrained, like marriages, long-term relationships that, we can't separate or become divorced because we have these societal pressures. And even worse, financially structured, unfortunately, women are not able to always be able to become independent from after those relationships. So, there's a lot there. There's a lot of issues that have to be resolved. So, yeah, we're correcting this again from the inside out. And so the new societies that we want to create are those that are away from these inverted concepts, where every human is able to come into their whole state of peace and compassion and healing and ascension. Okay, Thank you so much for that super chat, guys. Your super chats mean the world to me. Victoria, thank you so much. How do you maintain the toroidal field while interacting with others? Any tips? Yeah. So, easiest way to practice this kind of mastery of your life force is GPAC. Okay, so really easy. Stay grounded, be present with yourself. That in itself is a practice because we have to learn to regulate our nervous system despite external triggers, right? So to maintain your state of balance, even when there's triggers outside, that means that you have to work on your triggers. So that's the number one thing, because that in itself, if you learn how to master your triggers despite whoever is around you, your energetic space will not be distorted. What happens is that we're so disconnected from ourselves, we lack self-mastery, self-awareness of our emotions. As soon as someone says something, our bubble is collapsed, our bubble is deflated, our energy is depleted, right? We have no control over that. And of course, then it's difficult. You don't even know what's yours and what's another person's. You're just enmeshed in everything, right? So to own your space is to, the tool that I'm inviting you is to imagine yourself inside of a bubble, because it's not just an imagination, it's tapping into your toroidal energy system. And that toroidal energy system is your free will, because you get to choose what affects you. You have to be aware, present in the moment in order to say, okay, I see this emotion. And you get to a point where you are already going to tune in to what this individual is trying to get from you before they even open their mouth, before they even speak, before they say anything, because you learn how to read energy. You learn how to feel the field. That's the level that we want to reach. Okay, so nothing will trigger you. You know yourself so well, you know your triggers, you know your emotional self. And when that happens, you can recognize in others very quickly, immediately, what is being wanted from that exchange. Therefore, you as the observer in a conscious state can choose. And so for most people, we become intimidated at that point, and we're afraid of choosing. We're afraid of saying no. We're afraid of saying no, thank you, or I rather not engage in that way. And so the energy just stays out there, comes right off. It just slides off your bubble, you know. So this is super important, and this is how you maintain energetic boundaries, energetic hygiene, emotional energetic boundaries. And that way, when you practice that, doesn't matter if you're with family, friends, your kids, your body will start to spin. Your energy system will start to move, because the movement of your toroidal system is the integration of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Okay, so that's a process. I hope that's clear enough. Thank you so much for that question, beautiful soul. And yes, I can be in French also. Great info. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for being here. What's my heart saying? Hopefully love, Mark. Love. All right. Have an amazing week, and I will see you soon. Love you.